Yeah, good morning and welcome everyone for update on commodities market. As I've been telling you, I think the commodities market is something that is a good option to explore for people who are either working or are busy in the mornings. Also, because many times the Indian market can get a little volatile, uh, the commodities market is a better place to probably invest as well, or an alternative to invest. You don't have to always invest alone in the commodities market, but it's good to diversify also into commodities. And the third point I want to make regarding this, why this is good, is when it comes to the Indian stock market, you have to keep looking at the Nifty, the Bank Nifty. You have Reliance, you have HDFC Bank. You have a lot of shares that you have to keep track of. But when it comes to commodities, you're just looking at crude oil and natural gas, and it's easier to do that, right? And so let's look at what happened yesterday. I was tracking commodities and natural gas on Friday evening. First, natural gas, I noticed that there was a possibility of a breakout. If you can look at this chart at the bottom. The technical charts indicated that there is a possibility of a breakout. So I was monitoring that. And this is the 30-minute chart for natural gas. And you can see here how there was a breakout and also there was a cut in the MACD line, the MACD histogram. And so I went and got in. So basically, when I cut the 30-minute chart, the trend line was also cut. My entry requirements were met, and then I mentioned that I'm entering. So, and then later, when I also exited late in the night as well. Once again, my exit requirements were met. Here you can see that there was a bit of a downtrend. This red candle. I actually exited a little bit before that, but there was a MACD cut again. So you can see how the exit requirements were also met, and I exited. Okay, so let's look at this. Entry point was at 5:30 p.m. The price on the international Henry Hub natural gas contract was 1.75 at that time, and it was 132.4 rupees MCX, which is our Indian commodities market. And then the exit point was at 11 p.m. At 1.82 on the international prices and 137.4 roughly the MCX. So if you look at this, in 5 to 6 hours, we made a per lot profit of roughly 6,250 rupees on a margin cost per lot of only 3,000 rupees. So that's a return almost 200%. Also, or a 2:1 ratio if you want to look at it that way, plus more than 200%. Also, my stop loss in this case was about 3,500. I was looking at a long-term trend. So in that case, it was again almost a 2:1 reward ratio. Risking about 3,500 rupees, ended up 6,250 rupees. I did about 3 lots. There was this long-term lot that I've been holding since 121.6, plus 2 more lots. So I made quite a bit of money on that just by 6 hours. Then there was crude oil. Crude oil actually started the movement earlier. So again, I was watching, this was on the 15-minute chart, technical chart. I saw that there was a possibility of breakout. I was waiting for the breakout. I saw the breakout. I also saw that the MACD line was getting cut there as well. So I entered at about 38.80. So, basically I knew that the entry requirements were met, and so I entered. But here's the problem. I exited too early. I exited out at about 39.95, something like that, because I saw these red candles. I wasn't sure if it's going to go down, so I just exited. But then I again got a clear signal to get in, but I didn't. I was kind of busy by that time with natural gas, so I didn't actually enter crude oil again. But I exited too early. I made about 1,000 rupees profit, which is normally my target. I made it, so I'm fine. But if you look at this, the exit was only way up here in the night at 40.57 on the international prices. Once you saw the line cut, you could have exited also. But basically at 4:15 was the entry point, 38.8 on the international prices, 29.22 on MCX, and the exit was at 11:30 at 40.65 at 3064. In 7 to 8 hours, we could have made 14,200 rupees on one lot of crude oil, which I know that in Finwazi and Zerodha and all, you need 3 to 4 lakhs of cash margin. for an intraday as well. But on Asta traders, you can get the lot for about 7,500 rupees. So if you're looking at a return on the lot, it's almost 190%. My stop loss was 3,000. So if I had stayed in, I would have got a risk to reward ratio of almost 1:5. Which means I was risking one and I would end up earning 5 times. So that was a really good trade that unfortunately I exited out too early, but it is a really good trade. So basically, I think that if you are able to focus on natural gas and crude oil, you can actually make quite a lot of money at a decent level every day. You just need to be careful not to trade crude oil on Wednesday nights when it is the weekly reporting for crude oil, and natural gas on Thursday night. We have the weekly reporting. So those are the 2 days when I don't trade either one. Natural gas on Thursday nights, evenings, and crude oil on Wednesday nights. But otherwise, it's all good. Technical breakouts, trend lines, indicators, then you're good to go. Right. And so just a recap on just a few, looking back at the natural gas long-term lot that I have. Right now it is at 137 from 121-ish. And so that's almost 20,000 rupees up on a long-term lot that I bought for 36,000 much. So I think many of you probably have a good opportunity to look into commodities. The margin is low. Look at Astra traders for oil, but natural gas can work with any traders. I use Finwase because brokerage is nil, and so I prefer Finwase. Quite a lot of money, natural gas and crude oil. I hope that this helps you too with regards to